You believe that? That's crazy.
Welcome to NTD News Today.
Here are today's top stories.
Hurricane Debbie made landfall in the Big Bend area of Florida yesterday, killing at least 4 people. Debbie was downgraded to a tropical storm as it moves into Georgia and South Carolina. What forecasters say could happen next.
Vice President Kamala Harris wins the Democratic nomination for president, clearing the way for her to pick a running mate before the deadline today. We look at her potential top picks.
The Defense Department says Iran-aligned terrorists were behind an attack on a base housing U.S. troops in Iraq. And the head of UN agency UNRWA says 9 employees will be fired after being accused of involvement in the October 7th terror attack.
A Federal Reserve policymaker pushes back against the notion that the economy is heading toward a recession. Stocks begin to rebound after yesterday's global sell-off.
Bangladesh's parliament is dissolved a day after their prime minister resigned and fled to India. The U.S. says it welcomes the formation of a new interim government.
World Aquatics has decided to cancel the marathon swimming test run in the Seine River today. Find out what's behind that decision.
This is NTD News Today, live from our NTD Global Headquarters. Here are Stephania Cox and Chris Beers.
Tropical storm Debbie came and went from Florida, leaving death and destruction in its wake.
Currently, the storm is over southeastern Georgia, where it's dumping torrential rain. In South Carolina, officials have confirmed 2 tornadoes as Debbie brings massive rainfall to parts of the state.
Hurricane Debbie made landfall in the Big Bend area of Florida yesterday morning. Debbie is now downgraded to a tropical storm.
The storm dumped up to 16 inches of rain in the area, causing serious flooding. More than 128,000 are without power in Florida. Officials say Debbie has turned deadly, killing 4.
When Hurricane Debbie made landfall yesterday morning, it brought winds up to 80 miles per hour. The heavy rainfall turned streets into rivers. Now the storm is moving across the state, headed to Georgia, but Governor Ron DeSantis expects flooding to continue for days to come.
These riverines, when they get to be a certain level, and when they crest, and the water that's going to come down from Georgia, it's just going to be something we're going to be on alert for, not just throughout today, but for the next week.
The storm claimed the lives of 4 in Florida. Officials in Levy County confirmed a 13-year-old boy died when a tree fell on a mobile home in Fanning Springs. Governor DeSantis confirmed 2 other deaths, those of a 12-year-old boy and a 38-year-old woman in a Dixie County traffic accident. Hillsborough County officials say a semi-truck driver died after his 18-wheeler veered off I-75 into the Tampa Bypass Canal yesterday. As Tropical Storm Debbie moves into Georgia, residents are preparing for massive rainfall.
From what I understand, this is a 1,000-year flood event. So we're hearing that is going to cause a lot of flooding. We might have in some areas, 20 to 30 inches of water.
And in California, firefighters continue to battle the Park Fire. The wildfire has grown to nearly 628 square miles. Over 6,600 firefighters are battling the flames. Lower humidity and temperatures over 100 degrees this week are slowing their efforts. Officials say the fire has destroyed 640 homes and buildings and damaged 52 others. The park fire is the fourth largest fire in California's history. And a tornado took Buffalo, New York by surprise yesterday, damaging buildings, flipping cars, and sending debris swirling over downtown. The National Weather Service said the tornado was rated as an EF1 with a maximum estimated wind speed of 90 miles per hour. No injuries or deaths were reported.
Eyewitness video footage captured a wildfire blazing in a residential hillside in Southern California. Authorities have issued mandatory evacuations. Dubbed the Edge Hill Fire, the blaze broke out yesterday afternoon in San Bernardino County. Flames engulfed several homes as local temperatures soared over 100 degrees. More than 200 firefighters from various agencies were dispatched to combat the blaze. California's fire agency, CAL FIRE, said the fire was holding at 100 acres and is 75% contained. Local police said one person was detained for a few hours but has been released. Local authorities said arson investigators were still determining the cause of the fire.
Vice President Kamala Harris will be announcing her presidential running mate today. That's after winning the Democratic nomination last night when the DNC released final results. The Democratic National Committee says Harris won 99% of the delegates' votes. The results still need to be certified by the Secretary of the Convention, then Harris can officially accept the nomination. Harris is starting a week-long campaign tour in battleground states. She will speak tonight at Temple University in Philadelphia. No live shots will be allowed during Harris's or her running mate's remarks. She told supporters yesterday she hadn't made a decision yet. Her deadline to pick a running mate is today. A lot of attention is on Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, though.
That's right. The 60-year-old father of two emerged as a moderate Democrat in Congress, where he served in the House for 12 years.
He's been governor since 2019 and is head of the Democratic Governors Association. He's enshrined abortion access into state law, banned conversion therapy, and protected transgender health procedures. He has also given voting rights to around 55,000 ex-convicts in Minnesota.
He's seen as a rural, working-class politician. He oversaw the George Floyd killing and subsequent protests. Republicans have said he responded too slowly to the protests rioting.
Another
Sure
top candidate
did.
is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro as a potential running mate. The 51-year-old father
And
of
Harris was
historically
bailing
high
people
approval
out.
ratings and is also liked by some in the opposing party.
That's right. Shapiro could become the first Jewish vice president if he gets picked. His family are practicing conservative Jews who keep kosher. His policies have drawn criticism from progressives, especially his stance on Israel.
Those in the pro-Palestine movement criticized a resurfaced op-ed from Shapiro's college days where he expressed support for Israel and criticized Palestinians. He says he has since changed his stance. He says he supports a two-state solution. He has expressed disagreement with the pro-Palestine college campus protests, saying on CNN that the Ku Klux Klan would not be tolerated the way pro-Palestine activists are.
Shapiro was a strong supporter of former President Obama during his first presidential campaign, and Obama likewise supported Shapiro during his run for state attorney general. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro is a rising star in the party with strong approval ratings in Pennsylvania, whose 19 electoral votes make it a must-win state for both Harris and Trump. Local residents are excited at Harris's potential pick.
I think Governor Shapiro is an excellent choice for Vice President Harris. I think he would do a lot of great things for the country and be able to tackle some hard issues. And it's a swing state. Like, that's an important thing as well.
I would be very happy if they select Josh Shapiro. I'm a big supporter. I've been since day one. He's always had my vote, and I'm very excited for the future.
I think he's someone who's been trying to work with our state legislature, which is more Republican leaning. So he's been doing that. And of course, anyone in Philadelphia will tell you he's the one who got I-95 rebuilt in a phenomenal amount of time. So he understands, I think, what people need, and is able to again get things done.
Vice President Harris is expected to announce her selection by today, ahead of her first scheduled public appearance with her running mate this evening at Temple University in Philadelphia. The rally will kick off a 5-day, 7-city tour of battleground states, likely to decide the November 5th election.
The choice of running mate is one of the most consequential decisions of Harris's political career, as she hastily pulls together a campaign to challenge Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. U.S. Senator J.D. Vance is vice presidential pick. In the November 5th election, that is. Vance will also make a campaign stop in South Philadelphia on Tuesday.
Turning now to Trump's legal battles, the Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit brought by Missouri's Attorney General against the state of New York. The suit requested that the gag order in the former president's New York criminal case be lifted and his sentencing be delayed. NTD's legal correspondent Arlene Richards brings us the update.
Missouri's Republican Attorney General Andrew Bailey attempted to file a lawsuit against New York. He claimed the gag order issued by Judge Juan Merchan violates the First Amendment rights of the voters in his state because they are unable to hear Trump speak. New York Attorney General Letitia James argued in a filing that allowing Missouri to sue would permit a dangerous end run around Trump's court proceedings. She rejected Missouri's filing as an attempt to interfere with the enforcement of criminal law in New York. The Supreme Court rejected the lawsuit without comment. However, the brief order noted Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito would have allowed the lawsuit to be filed, but, quote, would not grant other relief. Trump is scheduled to be sentenced next month after being convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records tied to hush money payment to an adult film actress. Arlene Richards, NTD News.
A federal judge has ruled that Google violated U.S. antitrust laws with its internet search business. The decision yesterday has the potential to reshape how millions of Americans get information online and could put an end to Google's dominance. The company spent tens of billions of dollars on exclusive contracts to secure a dominant position as the world's default search provider on smartphones and web browsers. The government said those contracts helped to block rivals such as Microsoft's Bing and DuckDuckGo. It's unclear what penalties Google may face. Another hearing will likely determine that. Google's president of global affairs, Kent Walker, responded to the ruling. He said the decision recognizes that Google offers the best search engine, but concludes the company shouldn't be allowed to make it easily available. Walker said Google intends to appeal the ruling. Coming up, stocks begin to rebound after yesterday's global sell-off. A Federal Reserve policymaker pushes back against the worry that the economy is heading toward a recession.
And 8,000 pounds
Naturally they would.
supplies make it to the International Space Station. More on the mission by Northrop Grumman's cargo spacecraft just after this break.